Okay. Good morning, student. We'll start our class. Am I audible?
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Yes, sir.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Fine. Okay. Okay. So we'll uh, start with the new subject. I think this is a very, very important subject in electrical engineering. It is the power system one, and some of you, maybe the lateral entry student, they are familiar with these subjects. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Fine. So what we'll do now, this is basically the first lecture. The syllabus you will get from that university syllabus. So this is available. The syllabus is available with you, or you can download it from the website, our college website, that Chaivasha Engineering. There you will get that particular different semesters. You can download it. Okay, that syllabus. Now, for the reference book, you can take any one of them, maybe the C.L. Wadhwa, or maybe Ashfaq Hussain, or maybe V.K. Mehta, or you can take Nagarath Kothari. So, any one book, or Abhijit Chakraborty, Shoni Gupta Bhatnagar, that book also you can take. So, any book you can take for this. And I will be also providing you the lecture notes, so that also you will get. And the videos also will be available with you in the YouTube, so you can refer that lectures later on. So there will not be any problem regarding the your course material and the let us say the course content. Okay, so those things will be easily available. Only thing you have to read it. Now we'll start with the chapter module 2, because module 1, Nishant sir will take that module 1 and I will start with module 2. Under module 2, we have first thing, that is the overhead transmission lines and cables. So whenever that electrical engineering topic it will come. So first of all, we will always remember that how this power is coming, from where it is coming, how it is generated, how it is transmitted, okay, and how it is available to the customers. So these are the basic questions it will come to any electrical engineering student when they will actually start this power system subject. So very interesting subject. We'll understand in detail one by one. Now, first of all, these overhead transmission lines and cables, do you have any idea that have you seen overhead transmission line anywhere?
Yeah, in railway.
Railway,
Or,
okay. Other than the railways?
yeah, uh, home lines.
Yeah, that is basically distribution line. Yeah, correct. It is service lines, your supply lines, which is coming
Yeah.
from the supply companies. Correct.
Yeah.
But these transmission lines which we are talking, that is normally present in the empty field, or let us say from the far away generating station to the substation. There are big overhead lines are there. Okay, that height of the
Plant to substations, sir.
huh?
Plant to substations.
Yeah, plant to substation. So those lines are basically long lines. Okay, those lines are basically long lines, and the electrical power it is generated at the generating station. Those power it is transmitted through these transmission lines via this overhead line. Okay. Now these overhead lines it will come into the up to the substation, and from the substation, again the power is then basically voltage is stepped down, and then it is transmitted to the through the distribution line. It is come to the customer. So broadly classifying the this whole pedagogy, there are different stages. So under transmission stages, there are primary transmission and there is a secondary transmission. Similarly, in the distribution stage, there are two categories, subcategory. It is the primary distribution and the secondary distribution. Now, after the secondary distribution, obviously, the power will be actually it will receive or it will receive this power at the consumer end. Okay. So now where these cables are used nowadays, these cables are. Have you seen these electrical cables anywhere? Electrical cables?
Yeah,
Huh?
it is neck to wire.
Once again, please repeat.
सर उसमें कोई कोटेड नहीं रहता इंसुलेटर का.
कहाँ पे? Where?
To power
सर जब
station, substation.
हेवी वोल्टेज ट्रांसमिशन किया जाता है सर.
हाँ, so heavy voltage transmission किया जाता है. So do you mean that in cables there will not be any insulation, or do you mean that in transmission lines the insulation will not be there? Which case you will tell this thing? Hello?
Yeah, in railway also we see
बोलिए.
and
ठीक है, मैं देखते हैं उसका कैसे करना है. ठीक है, मैं करता हूँ. Yes. So it is in which case the will not be there? Which case? Overhead transmission line or cables?
Transmission line, sir.
Transmission lines. So obviously, transmission lines are these are the basically bare conductor. These are basically the bare conductor. There are no insulation surfaces. Okay. Okay. So now our objective is what are the basically components, circuit components, or the electrical parameters which are present in electrical transmission lines, as well as what are the different types of electrical cable surfaces. So we'll know in detail the basic parts of this, because this introductory power system, it deals with the basics of the power system. So first we'll start that we know that the transmission of electrical power is done by three-phase three-wire overhead lines. Do you agree with me? Three-phase three-wire? Somebody will say no, sir, it is three-phase four-wire. So then what is the right answer? It is written it is three-phase three-wire.
Three wires, sir.
But if I tell
Yes, sir.
no, it is three-phase four-wire, how you will tell
yeah,
wrong?
No, sir.
One is
In distribution, we use three-phase four wire.
Correct, in distribution system. So where it is coming, why these three-phase four-wire extra wire cost we are actually making into the place, and why this extra cost we are doing?
Is for neutral, sir.
Because of the neutral. So because we need a neutral system in distribution line, so that's why there are three-phase four-wire system. Normally we have the three-phase three-wire system which is present in transmission system, but in transmission system at the top you will get something three-phase. There are three individual phases, and at the top there is some conductor is there. Have you seen those things? I will show you something like this. Okay, whether you have seen it or not, just cross check. Is it visible, this blank screen?
yes sir.
Yes sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Earth wires are for lightning protection.
Correct. This is very good. Somebody has told that is earth wire. So this is, let us say, a tower kind of thing. This is a 3 wires. Okay. The 3 wires are coming, and at the top, this is a wire. So there is some confusion that whether it is a neutral wire or not. So this is not your neutral wire. This is your earth wire, and that is used for the which purpose? This is used for which purpose?
Earthing of the tower.
Earthing of the tower. Because if there is some lightning occurs, that time
Protect conductors.
to protect this conductor so that the overvoltage will not appear into the system, or the equipments which are connected with the system, it will not appear. So that's why this particular earth wire is connected, and with this earth wire intermediate stages nearby substation, there will be lightning arresters are connected. So LA will be connected, LAs will be connected nearby substation. What is LA? It is basically
Lightning arrestor.
lightning. These are lightning arresters. Okay, so these are what will happen. The extra voltage or extra charge, it will appear in the earthware, and later on what will happen through this lightning arrestor, it will discharge to the ground. Okay, now we'll share that particular slide. Is it visible, na?
Yes, sir.
Slide is visible, na? Okay, just I want to confirm. Otherwise,
Yes, sir.
okay, fine. So an AC transmission line, what are the parameters it is present in AC transmission line? So you see that transmission line, it is starting from the generating end and it will reach to the consumer. So in between the generation and this, let us say, transmit or the distribution, or maybe distribution to the consumer, in between these there are some electrical parameters which are present in any transmission line. Those parameters are basically resistance, inductance, and capacitance. So these parameters are distributed throughout the length of the line. I think yesterday I was taking some class on your circuit theory. Okay, that time I told you that in transmission line, this network,
Yes, sir.
yeah, we are discussing about the lumped parameter and distributed parameter. Yes or no? In your class?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So this lumped parameter, this difference between the lumped parameter and this distributed parameter, this is one good example. These transmission line parameters, these are basically your distributed parameter. So these are the constants as constants or parameters of the line. So these are basically main parameter of any transmission line. Now the performance of a transmission line depends to a considerable extent upon this constant. So basically any transmission line, any performance. So there are performance, generally we measure the performance of any transmission line with the help of two parameters. One is the voltage regulation, another is the efficiency of the transmission line. We'll see in detail that what is how to calculate the voltage regulation of a transmission line, how to calculate the efficiency of the transmission line, what are the different types of transmission lines it is present in place. So those things we'll discuss in detail. But prior to that, we'll understand that whether what are the different parameters based on which the performance of the transmission line, it depends. So for instance, these constants determine whether the efficiency and the voltage regulation of the line will be good or poor. Therefore, a sound concept of this constant is necessary in order to make the electrical design of a transmission line a technical success. So when we are discussing about the electrical design, so there are two chapters, separate chapters under this particular module. There is the electrical design of overhead lines and there is some mechanical design of overhead lines. So when we'll basically talk on the electrical design of overhead lines, that we are basically discussing on the parameters, the electrical parameters, the resistance, inductance, and capacitance. These parameters are very, very important. And these parameters are actually determining the performance and the efficiency of the transmission line. So how to calculate those things will come in step by step. Now we'll talk on some factors, some very, very good one, that is good effect, that is the skin effect. I think any idea on this particular skin effect? Anyone can say roughly what is the skin effect? Anyone? Or should I discuss?
Yes, sir.
I should discuss. Okay, right. So skin effect, normally it occurs in AC transmission system. In DC, we don't actually observe this particular phenomenon. What is actually happening in this skin effect? When the AC current, it will try to flow within the conductor, instead of flowing through the center of the conductor, the current will basically uniformly distributed over the surface of the conductor. Okay, it will try to flow through the surface of the conductor instead of flowing to the center of the conductor. And this particular effect is known as the skin effect. And this particular thing, it is observed in AC. It is not observed in DC current. Okay, that is basically one of the important thing which you have to remember. So what is the skin effect? When a conductor is carrying steady direct current, the current is uniformly distributed over the whole cross section of the conductor. However, an alternating current flowing through the conductor does not distribute uniformly. Rather, it has a tendency to concentrate near the surface of the conductor. This is known as the skin effect. So the tendency of the alternating current to concentrate near the surface of a conductor is known as the skin effect. Okay, so skin effect, I will take one example from the YouTube. I will show you one video where actually you will be able to see that thing. So just a minute, show you that thing. That will be a very good example, which is actually demonstrated with the help of, let us say, videographic representation. Just a minute, I will show you. I'm preparing for that. Visible to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. आपको सुनाई दे रहे हैं? Sound, is it? You can hear the sound also? Yes. आपको sound सुनाई दे रहा है?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, just a minute.
का क्या रीजन होता है?
सुनाई दे रहे हैं?
अगर आप भी जानना चाहते हैं तो प्लीज वीडियो को कंटिन्यू एंड तक देखें। वीडियो को पूरा देखने के बाद अगर आपको लगा कि ये चैनल आपके लिए हेल्पफुल है तो प्लीज चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कर लेना। स्किन इफेक्ट, जब हाई वोल्टेज एसी सप्लाई ओवरहेड कंडक्टर के थ्रू एक जगह से दूसरे जगह पर ट्रांसमिट होता है तो जो इलेक्ट्रॉन रहता है वो वहाँ पे जो इलेक्ट्रॉन्स का फ्लो होता है वो पूरे होल क्रॉस सेक्शनल एरिया से ना जाकर सिर्फ कंडक्टर के सरफेस से ही फ्लो होना स्टार्ट कर देता है। और जो सेंटर वाला पार्ट होता है कंडक्टर का वहाँ पे बहुत कम इलेक्ट्रॉन फ्लो होता है और मैक्सिमम इलेक्ट्रॉन्स उसके सरफेस से फ्लो होना स्टार्ट कर देता है। तो जिस इफेक्ट के कारण ऐसा होता है उस इफेक्ट को स्किन इफेक्ट बोला जाता है। जब हम लोग किसी ओवरहेड कंडक्टर से डीसी सप्लाई फ्लो कराएंगे वहाँ पे स्किन इफेक्ट नहीं होगा, क्योंकि जो डीसी सप्लाई होता है उसमें फ्रीक्वेंसी नहीं रहता, जिसके कारण जो इलेक्ट्रॉन्स रहेगा वो कांस्टेंट स्पीड के साथ फ्लो करेगा। स्किन इफेक्ट हमेशा अगर होगा तो एसी सिस्टम में होता है, क्योंकि यहाँ पे फ्रीक्वेंसी रहता है जिसके कारण अल्टरनेट फ्लो करता है। और स्किन इफेक्ट क्यों होता है? रीजन, सपोज यहाँ पे ओवरहेड कंडक्टर का क्रॉस सेक्शनल एरिया है। ओके, जो ओवरहेड कंडक्टर रहता है वो बहुत सारे लेयर से मिलकर बनता है। ठीक है, सपोज जो इलेक्ट्रॉन्स है वो पहले सेंटर से फ्लो कर रहा था, जो सेंटर वाला लेयर है वहाँ से इलेक्ट्रॉन फ्लो कर रहा था। तो जब इलेक्ट्रॉन फ्लो करता है तो उसके चारों ओर मैग्नेटिक फील्ड बन जाता है। तो मान लो सेंटर से जब मेरा इलेक्ट्रॉन फ्लो कर रहा है तो उसके चारों ओर भी मैग्नेटिक फील्ड बन गया। तो इलेक्ट्रॉन्स का ऐसा नेचर होता है कि वो मैग्नेटिक फील्ड से हमेशा दूर भागने का कोशिश करता है। तो अब इलेक्ट्रॉन्स क्या करेगा, वो सेंटर वाला लेयर छोड़कर सेकेंड लेयर में जाएगा। ठीक है, जब सेकेंड लेयर से इलेक्ट्रॉन्स फ्लो करना स्टार्ट करेगा तो उसके चारों ओर भी मैग्नेटिक फील्ड बन रहा है, तो वहाँ से भी इलेक्ट्रॉन निकलेगा और थर्ड लेयर में जाएगा। ऐसे करते करते वो जो कंडक्टर का सरफेस है वहाँ पे पहुँच जाता है। तो जब मैक्सिमम इलेक्ट्रॉन्स कंडक्टर के सरफेस से फ्लो करना स्टार्ट कर देता है तो जो बीच वाला पार्ट है कंडक्टर का वहाँ से मिनिमम करंट फ्लो करता है। तो वो जो खाली पार्ट रहता है वहाँ पे रेजिस्टेंस जो रहता है वो इंक्रीज हो जाता है, कंडक्टर में हाई रेजिस्टेंस आ जाता है। और जब रेजिस्टेंस इंक्रीज होता है तो उसके कारण पावर लॉस होता है जब पावर लॉस होता है तो इफिशियंसी जो होता है वो लो हो जाता है। जो ओवरहेड कंडक्टर है वो डिजाइन होता है तो स्किन इफेक्ट को कंसीडर करके ही किया जाता है कि किस टाइप से उसको हम लोग डिजाइन करें ताकि जो स्किन इफेक्ट है वो कम से कम अकर हो सके। कुछ फैक्टर है जिसके ऊपर स्किन इफेक्ट जो रहता है वो डिपेंड रहता है। फर्स्ट है क्वालिटी ऑफ मटेरियल और नेचर ऑफ मटेरियल। मतलब मटेरियल जो है कंडक्टर का मटेरियल है वो हाई क्वालिटी का होना चाहिए, मतलब जिसका कंडक्टिविटी हाई रहना चाहिए। वहाँ पे हम लोग कॉपर का यूज करेंगे, एल्यूमिनियम का यूज करेंगे। इस टाइप का मटेरियल जब हम लोग यूज करेंगे कंडक्टर को बनाने के लिए तो स्किन इफेक्ट रिड्यूस होगा। नेक्स्ट है शेप ऑफ कंडक्टर। जो कंडक्टर है वो सॉलिड मटेरियल का बना हुआ नहीं रहना चाहिए, स्ट्रैंडेड वायर का रहना चाहिए। यानी कि ग्रुप ऑफ कंडक्टर, एक सॉलिड कंडक्टर नहीं रहना चाहिए, स्ट्रैंडेड वायर होना चाहिए, तो वहाँ पे स्किन इफेक्ट रिड्यूस होता है। नेक्स्ट है जो स्किन इफेक्ट है वो फ्रीक्वेंसी पे डिपेंड रहता है। जितना ज़्यादा फ्रीक्वेंसी इंक्रीज होगा स्किन इफेक्ट भी उतना ज़्यादा इंक्रीज होगा। साइज ऑफ कंडक्टर, डायमीटर। कंडक्टर का डायमीटर जितना ज़्यादा रहेगा उतना ज़्यादा स्किन इफेक्ट होता है, तो इसलिए कंडक्टर उसका डायमीटर ज़्यादा नहीं होना चाहिए। वो जितना हम लोग कोशिश करेंगे जो डायमीटर है वो कम रहे, तो वहाँ पे स्किन इफेक्ट भी कम हो जाता है। डिसएडवांटेज, स्किन इफेक्ट का मेन डिसएडवांटेज है कि जो इलेक्ट्रॉन्स है वो पूरे होल क्रॉस सेक्शनल एरिया से ना जाकर सिर्फ सरफेस से फ्लो करता है, और जो बीच वाला पार्ट रहता है वो उसके कारण रेजिस्टेंस इंक्रीज होता है कंडक्टर का। वीडियो अच्छा लगा तो यार लाइक करना, और चैनल के साथ आगे भी बने रहना चाहते हो।
Okay. So, have you seen this video?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I hope the idea is clear now. Okay, that what is the reason for that? We'll discuss in detail. Okay, from that particular perspective, what is actually shown in the video. So what is actually happening due to the skin effect, the effective area of the cross section of the conductor through which current flow, it is reduced, because current will always try to flow through the surface of the conductor. Now, what is the reason? Let us say why the current is trying to flow through the surface of the conductor. So what will happen? Initially, the electrons will try to flow through the, let us say, I will just share that particular board, then it will be clear. So let us say this is your cross section. For example, this is a cross section. This is a cross section of the conductor. So initially, what will happen? This is the center line, let us say, for example. So electrons will be accumulated surrounded this particular point. What will happen? Whenever these electrons will flow, that time a magnetic field will be established. A magnetic field will be established here. So there will be a magnetic field surrounding this particular conductor, means surrounding these electrons. So what will happen when the magnetic field gets established? So in turn, this will offer a basically magnetic flux linkage will be there. So magnetic flux linkage, it will be surrounding this particular, I will take some different color. So here there will be some magnetic flux linkage will be more. So if there is a magnetic flux linkage, if it is more, so what will happen? Anyone can share? If it is more, then what will happen? The inductance will be more. Because what is the definition of the inductance? It is magnetic flux linkage per unit current.
Yes, sir.
So inductance will be more. So inductance will be more means inductive reactance will be more. So inductive reactance, it will be more. So if it is inductive reactance is more, so what will happen? Impedance will be, so impedance will be more. So impedance more means what? The current will try to flow through the surface of the conductor. The current will try to flow through the surface of the conductor instead of flowing to the center of the conductor. Any doubt on this from the video and this description? Any doubt? On the magnetic, this particular skin effect?
No, sir.
Okay, fine. So consequently, the resistance of the conductor is slightly increased when carrying an alternating current. The cause of the skin effect can be explained as, so what are the basically cause? A solid conductor may be thought to be consisting of a large number of strands, each carrying a small part of the current. The inductance of each strand will vary according to its position. Thus, the strands near the center are surrounded by a greater magnetic flux and hence have larger inductance than that near the surface. So I have told you that the electrons will be accumulated near the center of the conductor, and due to that, there will be some magnetic field which will get established surrounding that conductor. Now, what will happen if the electron density will be more, magnetic field intensity will be more, so magnetic flux linkage will be more. So electrons will try to avoid that path because it will be getting some higher resistance, because inductance will be more, reactance will be more, impedance will be more. So everything is more. So electrons will try to avoid that path. It will try to flow through the lowest resistance path or lowest impedance path. So where that electron will get the lowest impedance path, it will get through the surface of the conductor. So it will jump to the surface of the conductor and then it will try to flow through the surface of the conductor. And that's why it is not flowing through the center of the conductor. It is trying to flow through the surface of the conductor. So the higher reactance of inner strand causes the alternating current to flow near the surface of the conductor. And this crowding of current near the conductor surface is the skin effect. Okay, this is the basically known as the skin effect. But this particular thing, it is observed in AC current. It is not observed in DC. Okay, DC we have a constant frequency. Frequency is how much in DC?
0.
Frequency is 0. So there is no such variation we will observe in DC, but in AC we can observe this particular phenomenon. Our next topic is, so is it clear this skin effect? Anything, any doubt from your end?
No, sir.
Okay, fine. I think there is no doubt. So I will erase this thing and I will take a new one. So maybe I will try with this in the next time. Fine. Okay. Now, what is flux linkage? Anyone? Any? Just now I have discussed. Flux linkage is basically, it is the inductance of the definition of the inductance is, it is the flux linkage per unit current. So the definition of the inductance, it is the flux linkage per unit current. So flux linkage due to the single current carrying conductor. Now let us consider a long straight cylindrical conductor of radius r meter and carrying a current I ampere. So, and this current will set up the magnetic field. Obviously, when the current will flow, the magnetic field gets established. So the magnetic lines of force will exist inside the conductor as well as the outside of the conductor. Both these fluxes will contribute to the inductance of the conductor. So first of all, we have to know that what is the inductance, the definition of the inductance. What is the definition of the inductance? It is the this is L equal to, it is psi by your I. So L equal to psi by I means this is the magnetic flux linkage divided by the unit current. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
This is the basically definition of the inductance. So if the magnetic flux linkage is more, so inductance value will be more. Okay. Now we want to see that, let us say a current carrying conductor is there. Okay, there is a current carrying conductor. Now this current carrying conductor, due to a current, let us say I is flowing through this particular conductor. Now due to this current, there will be some internally, there will be some magnetic flux linkage, and there will be some at a particular distance, let us say any distance r, there will be some. So there will be internal flux linkage. There will be internal flux linkage. And there will be some external flux linkage. So we'll discuss one by one. First, we'll discuss the internal flux linkage and we'll next discuss the external flux linkage. Okay, so we'll see that. So flux linkage due to the internal fluxes. So let us consider in the figure it is shown that this is current I is flowing and through a conductor of radius small r. Okay. Now we first want to calculate what is the magnetic flux. So this particular conductor, it is shown here. You see, this is the cross section of the conductor. This is the cross section. This is the r is the radius. Okay. And we consider here at a distance x a small round strip at a x, and surrounding this x we have a dx. So this dx is a very differential strip. The length of this dx is very small. So we are assuming that we want to calculate what is the current flowing. What is the current flowing through this at a distance of x from the radius of this particular center. Because our objective is to calculate what is the flux linkage due to this internal flux. So Ix will be equal to pi x square by pi r square. Why? Now I will ask you that why. Because the total current I is flowing through pi r square. So for pi r square cross section, the current flowing is I. So for pi x square, what will be the current? I will just show you here. I will show you. So we know that for pi r square, the total current is I. For 1 unit, it is I by pi r square. And for pi x square, why pi x square? We have considered at a distance x. Okay. So what should be the current at this? So I by pi r square into pi x square. So it will come as I into x square by r square. Yes or no? Is clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So you see, this is x square by r square into I. Now we are going to calculate what is the magnetic field strength, Hx. Hx is the magnetic field strength. So magnetic field strength is basically this, the definition of the magnetic field strength. It is Ix by 2 pi x. You have to remember this thing. You have to remember that the Hx is basically Hx equal to, this is Ix, that is the total current at that particular section by the perimeter of that particular strip. So Hx equal to Ix by 2 pi x. So if it is like that, then you can write this Ix, you know, this is I into x square by r square divided by 1 by 2 pi x. So this will be your I into x, because this x and x square will cancel, divided by 2 pi r square. Yes or no?
Yes.
Right. So x square by 2 pi r square into I. So that's what we have calculated. Now we have to understand this thing. We know that mu is the permeability of the conductor. So and mu equal to mu naught into mu r. Okay, mu naught is the absolute permeability and mu r is the relative permeability. Normally in air, this mu naught equal to your how much? 4 pi into 10 to the power minus 7. Okay, 4 pi into 10 to the power minus 7. So mu r is the one for the non-magnetic material. So we know that now we are going to calculate B. B is the flux density. So flux density, it is basically Bx equal to mu into H. If you can remember your basic principle of the magnetics, yes or no? So that is Bx equal to mu into Hx. So this is equal to mu naught into mu r into Hx. Now this mu r equal to 1 normally. So this is equal to mu naught into Hx. Now we'll substitute this Hx value. We have already calculated this Ix. So we'll now just substitute that thing. So what will happen? We just see we have substituted here. This is basically mu naught xi by 2 pi r square. Up to this point, it is clear. Any doubt? Any doubt?
No, sir.
Huh?
No, sir.
Okay, fine. Up to Bx, it is clear. Now we are going to calculate what is the d phi. D phi is the basically, this is a flux density. Now flux, when we are to calculate, flux means what? Flux is the flux density into area. So we are assuming a dx is the basically thickness of that particular section. This is the dx is the thickness of that section, and the length of that particular section is 1 meter. So what will happen? The area will be 1 into dx. So d phi will be equal to bx into 1 into dx. Okay. So we have just substituted bx is here mu naught xi by 2 pi r square, and dx is there. Yes or no? D phi calculation, is it clear? D phi up to D phi it is clear.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now here we have to understand one thing, that here we have considered the total current I. But do you think that here at this section X, okay, that this section is X, the total current will actually contribute towards the magnetic flux? It is no. It is no, because at a distance X from the center, the current which will contribute towards the magnetic flux, it is Ix. It is not I. Okay. So what will happen? We need to calculate Ix. So Ix we have already calculated. That is x square by r square into I. So what we are going to do now, instead of I, we'll substitute Ix. So now this psi will be equal to, we'll substitute that. This is equal to your, let us say, pi mu naught xi. So instead of I, we'll write here x square by r square into I. So this will becomes Ix cube by 2 pi r to the power 4 into dx. Should I calculate, or is it clear? Please tell me. This is clear. Just we are, instead of this I, we have substituted here Ix, and then we are doing this calculation. Any doubt on this step? Please tell.
No, sir, it's clear, sir.
It's clear. Fine. Sometimes I becomes confused because whether you are getting or not. That's the problem. So now what will happen? The total flux linkage when we have to calculate. So what is the total flux linkage? It is starting from 0 and it is up to r. So from 0 to r we have to integrate, and then with respect to dx. So this is 0 to r mu 0 I x cube by 2 pi r to the power 4. So what it will come? Mu naught I x cube by 2 pi r to the power 4. So this you have to remember. Okay. So basically this is. So this is basically, let us say, I will take this one, new one. Okay, fine. Now, okay. So what was that? Basically, psi integral, it is integration 0 to r. This is mu naught I x cube by 2 pi r to the power 4 dx. Yes or no? That was the integration?
Yes, sir.
Naught I by 2 pi r to the power 4. It is 0 to r then cube dx. Okay. So this is equal to mu naught I by 2 pi r to the power 4. This is r to the power 4 by 4. What will happen this? Okay. So this r to the power 4. So this is mu naught I by 8 pi. Yes or no? Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So now I will show you that particular slide. So this is mu naught I by 8 pi. So that's what we have got. Okay. So this is the total flux linkage, internal flux linkage. This is basically your internal flux linkage. Okay. Now I will actually start this external flux linkage from next class. Okay. Any doubt up to this point? Anyone? Any doubt?
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay.
No, sir.
Okay, is it fine? So we'll continue our class in the next class. Maybe I don't know. You will get in as per schedule. Okay, that will be held. If it is not, if I am not taking, I will inform you. Okay. So thank you. Okay. Then the attendance will be actually your HOD will post that particular that QR code. So you can give your attendance. There will not be an issue. So thank you. I am closing this meeting.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.